everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Thursday, September 17th. On our show today, well, actually, first we'll tell you about the meetings that we have coming up. We have 3 meetings today. We have the United Architectural Controls and Standards meeting at 9:30 this morning. Then we also have the United Governing Documents review, which will be at 1:30 today. And then we have the Mutual 50 board, which is an open session at 2 p.m. Now you can follow along with these meetings by going to lagunawoodsvillage.com/meetings. All right, on our show today, we have a third update with Robert Muchnick. Now, insurance is a really big challenge right now for their area, so we are going to talk about why that is important. And then we also have a segment with advanced ear care with Stuart Spencer. Now let's go ahead and give you our regular resources like we usually do. We've got covid19.ca.gov, and that is of course where you can get all of our reopening plans by the governor, and it'll go by county, and it'll tell you all sorts of great stuff regarding what level we are in for reopening. We have the OCHealthInfo.com, which is where you can get all of your numbers per age, per genre, per city, a variety of different graphs that you can look at there. And then the county has their hotline number, which is 714-834-2000. And then, of course, you can always go to our website, which is LagunaWoodsVillageAlerts.com. And if you have any questions, you can email us at info@LagunaWoodsVillage.com. Now, our weather is still going to be quite warm this week, and we are looking at a cooling sometime by Monday. Today, it's going to be warm, less smoke today, 88-68. Tomorrow, it will be hot, 90-67. 84-62, slightly cooler, and then cooling towards the end of the weekend, 80-63, and then Monday, 79-63. Now, our sunrise this morning was at 6:36, and our sunset will be at 6:54. And thank you so much, Sue and Jules Anderson, for this lovely plumeria tree from Hawaii. And of course, they always grow very large there, and just a gorgeous shot any way you look at it. Thank you so much. And if you have a beautiful landscape photo that you would like to send to us, please email it to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. And we are still trying to gather up photos of landscapes and maybe some vacation spots that you have been to, since many of us are still not going anywhere as of right now. All right, stay tuned, and we will have a third update by Robert Muchnick. Stay tuned.
At Harvard Eye, we're so happy to be open again to see you for all your medical and surgical eye care. We're taking great care to protect everyone from COVID-19 by seeing fewer patients, spacing out chairs in our lobby, sanitizing our office constantly, and doing much more. The world is changing a lot, but what hasn't changed is we're honored by your trust and confidence and committed to keeping you safe. We can't wait to see you.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Robert Muchnick, who is here on behalf of Third. And boy, based on what you were just telling me, sounds like you have your work cut out for you on the bylaws and CC&Rs. Well, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Lisa, and thank you for having me today. You're right. We have been wrestling with the CC&Rs for this past year, but let me give you a little bit of history so the members understand. When Rosemarie DiLorenzo was president of Third Mutual, she wanted to undertake the process to change and update the CC&Rs, but she wasn't able to get the kind of support from her board because there wasn't any really tipping issue that caused them to want to move forward. However, in the past year, insurance has become the major tipping issue. The members need to understand who live in Third that there are actually 59 different mutuals that make up Third Mutual. Each mutual, each of the 59 has their own set of CC&Rs, okay? So there is not necessarily any agreement from one to another. We have over 22,000 pages of CC&Rs. Many of those CC&Rs are as much as 50 years old. They haven't been updated in a long time. They're out of sync with current law. They're out of sync with current practice, and they're just unmanageable. And one of the things that's in those CC&Rs, which we'll spend hopefully a few minutes talking about, is the insurance requirement. Currently, Third Mutual is required to have 100% replacement cost for insurance. And when we get into insurance, you'll see why that's a serious problem. So what we're asking the members to do in the next month or so is to vote to approve a new set of CC&Rs, a new set of bylaws. The new CC&Rs for all 59 mutuals will now be approximately 106 pages. And all the members will have access to being able to see all the new CC&Rs, what the changes are, changes in the bylaws, and then we'll be able to answer any questions they have. But that's what brings us to the insurance issue.
Wow. So how are you going to whittle down 22,000 pages to 106?
Well, what our lawyers did, which I think actually was brilliant, was rather than try to combine 22,000 pages into a single, what they did was, because they have a tremendous amount of HOA experience, they represent HOAs all up and down California, they crafted a whole new set of bylaws that are current with the laws, that include all the different statutes and everything, rather than try to cobble together pieces out of 22,000 pages.
Wow. Why do you think when Rosemarie was around, there was some pushback on changing it?
Well, there wasn't any tipping issue. There wasn't the insurance hanging over a head like a guillotine, at this point. And that's really what prompted this board to say, okay, we don't have a choice. We've got to go forward with this change.
All right. Well, let's jump into the insurance, because I know that's a real heavy load.
What we have is, and I want the people to understand, we have a chart that actually will be distributed to everybody. And what this chart includes is, it shows what the previous premiums were for the different insurances that Third is required to maintain. And the key one for all of the members, the one that's most important, has to really do with the property insurance. That's the major one. The property insurance last year cost us $967,000 for property insurance, okay? This current year, that cost jumped to $1,413,000 and change, okay? So we saw a significant increase. For next year, we budgeted, actually for this year, we budgeted $1,021,000. The cost has been so far, just for property, $1,413,000. Next year, we're budgeting $3,087,000 for the same coverage. So people need to understand, here's what happened. We were insured by Travelers Insurance for the last 20 years, okay? And we had an evaluation of the whole village of $700 million, okay? Sounds wonderful. Our insurance was based on on that evaluation. Travelers and other companies said, we will not write insurance for this coming year without a new evaluation of the village. So we undertook a new evaluation of the village, and the village went from $700 million to $3.4 billion.
Oh, good night.
Okay, so you're talking about a 5-time increase in the evaluation of the village. Okay, so since Third has 1.6 billion of that, we're required by the current CC&Rs to insure for 1.6 billion if we can get it. Though it's not likely we can even get $1.6 billion. We're trying, but it's not even clear. And if we can get it, it's going to be absolutely astronomical, because the $3,087,000 that's budgeted for next year for property insurance is based on a previous amount of $700 million. So if you go to 1.6, let's double that to 6 million just for property insurance. Wow. However, that people need to understand, Travelers this year gave us, at the moment, an estimate of for the first $50 million. That's what they're willing to take. So we have to layer on for the other companies to get up to where we want to be. For the first $50 million, they want now $3.5 million in premium for 1 year.
Wow.
Okay, that compares to the $818,000 that I shared with you earlier. That was the premium for the first 50 million. So that's gone up 5 times.
Wow.
So we're in a serious pickle in terms of insurance. The board is doing its best to try to keep the cost as low as possible. But this is another major driving force for the CC&Rs and why we want the people of Third to take a very serious look at what we're proposing with the new CC&Rs, because without it, we're not going to be able to control the cost of insurance.
Okay. Well, then that should certainly point them in the right direction. If your CC&Rs are brought up to date, then maybe you can not charge them so much for insurance in the long run, right?
Well, this year we did a $20 per manor per month increase to help cover the cost of some of the insurance. But the members need to understand that that $20 per manor per month is not only for insurance, but for the cost of the employees, their raises, things of that nature.
Right.
If we had raised this year just the cost of insurance, it would have been, for just insurance, $44 per manor per month. We're taking some money out of reserve to help compensate for this year, but we can't do that year in and year out.
Right.
So if we don't get the CC&Rs fixed, in a sense, the cost that's passed on to the manor owners could be next year as much as $80 per manor per month.
Wow.
We want to avoid that.
Exactly. Well, what do the manor folks need to do to help you out?
Well, they need to talk to each other. They need to talk to members of the board. They need to read the new CC&Rs, the ballot information that they'll be sent, which will give them a whole explanation of what the major changes are. But if they want to read the actual specifics, they'll have a link to the CC&Rs and the new bylaws so they can read every word of what they're voting on. And we want them to be an informed membership, and we want them to vote what they think is right and best. The board currently thinks right and best is to vote for the new CC&Rs. But we also need according to the CC&Rs, we need a 67% approval rate of all of the members. That's not just who vote, that's 67% of everyone. So we need people to vote, and hopefully they will vote to support the change.
Okay. When does the voting come up for this?
Well, they're going to get the ballots approximately October 2nd in the mail, and they'll have 1 month in which to cast their ballot. They can either send it in by mail or they can drop it off at the community center. Outside, there'll be a voting box for them to drop the ballot off in. And there'll be lots of material. We'll be doing lots of these kinds of ThisDay interviews, hopefully. We'll be doing crawls on the TV6. We'll be doing stories in the Globe. And the board will be available to do some Zoom meetings with members in hopes to explain to them and answer any questions they have.
Good. That was going to be my question to you is, do you anticipate after October, when they receive the ballots, will you have special meetings to help the folks understand some things regarding?
Well, it's going to be a little difficult because by law, board members cannot advocate for the change in the CC&Rs during the voting period.
I see.
So we have between now and actually October 2nd to do these kinds of things. We have other people who will do some of the Zoom meetings who are not board members to help us out.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good because, going from as many pages as you mentioned to something shorter, they probably want to know, okay, exactly what has changed.
And they'll be able to see all of that. We're going to be completely transparent with this whole process.
Great. Well, thank you very much for the information. Good luck to you. That's quite an undertaking.
Well, thank you very much, and I hope to see you again soon. And everybody stay healthy. And I just want to say one last thing, if you don't mind. My mother-in-law, who lives here in the Towers, is turning 97. I want to wish her a happy birthday.
Oh, that's adorable. Well, happy birthday to your mom.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. And we'll be right back after this.
Hearing aids require a lot of attention. Don't underestimate the problems earwax can cause. Come in and see inside your own ear canals to find out how much blockage you have. Debris like earwax can cause up to 45% reduction in amplification. Your hearing aids may be able to be significantly improved to help you hear conversations clearly with a simple office visit. Every day, patients say, "Oh my gosh, that sounds so much better." Stop in or call us today for a complimentary cleaning and ear inspection. Tell them Stuart sent you.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Stuart Spencer with Advanced Ear Care, and he has a few things that he'd like to tell us about. Well, Stuart, welcome back. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, Lisa. It's nice to be back.
Well, I know there's a few things that you want to talk to us about. Evidently, there is something that has been voted as a best invention, and it's something that you are using for your patients. So tell us about it.
Well, we're really excited about it. It's kind of just been a progression of technology. Usually there's small changes in technology which make the difference. With this, it's been a big change. Front cover of Time magazine, at the end of 2019 had the 100 best inventions of 2019. So this Livio Edge AI was one of them. And it's pretty impressive, for a hearing aid. So it's the first hearing aid that had artificial intelligence, or does have artificial intelligence in it. Here in 2020, we've come out with the new version of that model. And I just can't tell you how different people really hear with this hearing aid. They just keep coming back and just saying, "Stuart, this is so much better. I hear so clearly." Just one patient was like waiting for me, last Monday at the door, and I opened the door. He says, "Stuart, I can hear my wife," and his wife was writing to him. His hearing was that bad, and he was so happy. And it just goes on and on. Another young lady works at Trader Joe's and couldn't hear anybody with the mask on, right? And so she says, this guy asked her for, what was it? Oh, I know what it was, tofu. And she took him to the dog food, right? And she said, "I've just got to get my hearing fixed." Fit her with these hearing aids. She says, "I can just hear right through the masks. I hear so much easier. Everything's just a lot clearer and more comfortable." And it just happens day after day after day. These people come in and just love them.
So tell me, artificial intelligence, how is it using that to help people?
So pretty amazing. The hearing aid itself has the word edge in it. And that edge mode is a simple mode where really, Lisa, all you do is just tap your ear twice on that left side. So that artificial intelligence replays the last 15 to 30 seconds of the environment you were just sitting in. And then it puts up a background noise filter just for that immediate situation. So it just lets the speech pop out of that noise. And so you can understand the speech much clearer. So that's just one aspect of it. There's a lot of others, but pretty amazing.
That is, boy, we've come a long way, and artificial intelligence is really starting to show up now in a variety
real practical ways, right?
Yep. Hearing aids, our computer systems, so many different things now. It's amazing how that's changing things. Is this particular hearing aid something that is covered by insurance?
Insurance covers hearing aids more than ever, which is really great news, right? And, we've been here so long, we have, most of the deeper type of insurance contracts that a lot of people that haven't been here as long don't have. And so, we just check for everybody, Lisa. It's a great question. So, we check every time they come in, but, many times now they do. So before we just have to say, "Oh, I don't really think it's going to work." But now there's a lot of them that have at least some portion payment for a hearing device.
Great. Good to know. Now, of course, we've been lifted in terms of our level for COVID-19, which is a good thing because now we'll see more capacity in some restaurants for indoor dining. And I know you've been remaining open for quite some time during COVID-19 pandemic. What are some things that you would like to tell us about your office during this time?
We just have a great compliance. We haven't had one issue whatsoever with any kind of COVID issue. I feel so saddened, for our patients. They're just so overwhelmed with all this information and so isolated and shut in. I saw a lady last week, who'd been in her room for like 4 months, and she says, the people are really nice. They, take my trash out, they bring me my food, and they, they're just wonderful. But she said, man, just to get out, just to come into regular appointment, it's just like amazing. So I guess, along that line, I guess what I'm thinking about is how isolated these people are and if they're afraid to come out because of any kind of health issues. We have a really healthy environment. We're totally CDC compliant. We'll even, go out and meet them outside and pick up their hearing aids and bring them in and clean them and give them back to them. If a caregiver wants to run them over, or a family member, or, every night we set off this fogger in our office, and it looks like a fumigation system. It just infects the entire area every night. So we're real clean and pure. And so if anybody has any issues, they're safe to come in.
So that's pretty interesting. I didn't hear about a fog type machine. So it disinfects the entire office, including your surfaces and things too.
It is amazing. It was from a friend in the Midwest that handles these machines, contacted me and said, Stuart, you got to do this. This just clears everything in one shot. And so we just hit it before we leave every night, disinfects everything, and come back to a clean environment in the morning.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I understand you have a new provider. So tell me about the provider.
We're really growing here. Lisa, we're getting busier and busier all the time. And, even during this COVID thing, we've maintained our office hours and our ability to really help people to hear better. We talked in our last interview, I believe, about how difficult it's been for people, even hearing on Zoom calls, which as a caveat, Zoom is going to be coming out with a closed caption service pretty soon. So that will help people. But, the Zoom calls, the masks, talking at a distance, being isolated. So, there's just a lot going on there with these people, but we've managed to maintain our business level. So we've needed to add somebody to our staff. So that's Isaac Leland. And so he's added to our staff. So we're really excited about him being here.
Oh, good. And what's his background?
So it was worked for 10 years, at a local office here. I won't say which one. And so he's had a lot of good fitting and service experience, really comes with a lot of strong talent. So we're really looking forward to him taking care of our patients.
Well, that's great. And I'm glad to hear that you're expanding, because, you're probably a rarity right now, because lots of people, unfortunately, have lost their businesses and are finding it very difficult to find their footing to get back on, back on track. So with your expansion, it sounds like you might be doing something else.
Yeah, that's right. We're really excited. We're going to be acquiring, one of the local hearing aid offices here in Laguna Woods. And we're really excited about that. I can't say anything officially yet as to who that might be. But, we're going to acquire that business and bring them in here and just merge it in with ours and be able to see their patients over here and just kind of continue to grow.
Well, that's great. Now, your office did you expand your office to accommodate this kind of operation?
The nice thing about our office is, we have a lot of depth. Most people have a fitting room or two in their offices. We have 5 fitting rooms. So, just by adding Isaac, we can add another 15 to 20 people a day. So just the present facility we have is just really well laid out, for people to be able to accommodate a larger traffic flow and still have all the spacing we need, right?
Exactly. So how long does an appointment usually take if you're doing a fitting?
Well, if like a fitting of a new hearing aid, takes an hour or a little bit more, our typical kind of a consultation, somebody coming in just to check their ears, check their hearing aid, is about 30 minutes. Okay. And then, we have all the different, appointment links from there, from 15 minutes to 2 hours and for hearing tests and, that type of thing. So, it really varies quite a bit, just depending on what it is.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Well, anything else you'd like to tell us about?
Gosh, no, we're just excited, to help the people hear better. We're excited about that Livio product. If anybody wants to just have a listen to that, they can come over. We can give them a free listening demonstration, and we'd love to show them what the difference would be.
Excellent. Well, Stuart, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Lisa. It's nice to be here, as always.
All right. And soon enough, we'll have you in the studio.
Oh, that'll be nice. I'll look forward to that.
All right. Thank you again.
All right. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye. And we'll be right back after this.
It was just a get-together with friends. No big deal. Everybody felt fine. Now, I'm super sick. Everyone is sick. I just wish we had been more careful. It would have been easier than this. So wear a mask. Do what you can outside. Stay 6 feet apart. Because some things you just can't take back.
Do your part to lower the risk.
Back, the Village Library is a resource that we all can use, and they have a really great system right now. They've been operating this way for the last few months, and they have access to books, DVDs, and more, so you can still rent out all of these things. And all you need to do is contact them at 949-597-4274, or you could email them at lwvillagelibrary@yahoo.com. And you can request books and DVDs and a variety of other things through them to be able to rent stuff out. And they have a non-contact system, so that works out really nicely. And then real quick, tell you about a book club that is here. And it is twice a month, and I say here because it's all done via Zoom. And it's done through Google Meet, and they meet from 4 to 5 p.m. Now, the best way to find out more about it is to send an email to info@Dialogue Society, or you can, that's dialoguesociety.us, sorry, that got cut off there, or you can call 949-297-6592 to find out what days they meet during the week and what book they're reading, so you can join it at any time. Okay, let's take a look at our weather one last time. As I mentioned, it is going to be warm over the next few days, but we are, ooh, look at that nice beach. Oh, I wish I was at that beach. All right, today very warm, less smoky, 88, 68. Tomorrow hot, 90, 67. Cooling down by Saturday, 84, 62, then 80, 63. And by Monday, 79, 63. So it's looking very nice by the end of the weekend. All right, well, when we come back tomorrow, we are going to have somebody talk to us a little bit about some of the reopenings that are happening here in Laguna Woods Village. And then you can always watch our show again today at 12:30 and 5. But nonetheless, tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. and we'll have another episode of This Day. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great day in the village. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.
I'm Kiana Lee. Today, we're talking with Dr. Christine Chung of 7-Day Dental. Today's topic is bad breath. Doctor, what do we need to know about bad breath? Mom.
Oh, sorry. Bad breath is caused by poor oral hygiene, which eventually leads to dental, gum disease, and decay. It's an easy fix.
Thank you, doctor. So don't wait, people. Come on in and get your 7-Day Dental smile.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.